Let us discuss about classification and formation of a frequency distribution. Classification. Uh, Let us understand the meaning of classification. Classification is the process of arranging data into various groups, classes, and subclasses according to some common characteristics of separating them into different but related parts uh, according to the Secrist. So, according to Secrist, classification refers to, so it is the process of arranging data into various groups, classes, and subclasses according to some common characteristics of separating ಕಾಮನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಂದೇನು ಡಾಟಾವನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವೇನು ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಪ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಇಂಟು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಬಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಇಂಟು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಬಟ್ ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು parts. So this is called as classification. So means it is the process of arranging data into various groups, classes, and subclasses according to some common characteristics. Now the main objectives of classification uh, are to make the data easy and precise, to facilitate comparison, and to classify the facts, to expose the cause and effect relationship, to arrange the data in proper and systematic way, and the data can be presented in a proper tabular form only. So these are the main the objectives for classifying the data into the various classes, subclasses, and different the parts according to some common characteristics. Now, types of classification. So the statistical data are classified in respect of their characteristics. Broadly, there are four basic types of classification. ಸೊ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಮೇಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾಲ್ಕು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಇನ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಾಟಾವನ್ನು ನಾಲ್ಕು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೋನೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಆರ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. Geographical classification, that is area wise or region wise or district. And qualitative classification, that's by character or attributes. And fourth one, quantitative classification, that is by numerical or magnitudes. So these are the four types of classification which is to be done on the basis of the characteristics. Now, chronological classification. So chronological classification, this is the first classification of the statistical the data. In chronological classification, the collected the data are to be arranged according to the order of time expressed in years, months, weeks, etc. And the data is generally classified in ascending order of time. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಕ್ರೋನೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಒನ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ collected data which are to be arranged according to the order of time ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಡ್, ಒಂದು ಟೈಮನ್ನು ಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಡಾಟಾವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಕ್ರೋನೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಚ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಈಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಟೈಮನ್ನು ಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ classification is chronological classification, and another classification is the geographical classification. So geographical classification, so in this type of classification, the data are classified according to geographical region or the place. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ರೀಜಿಯನ್ ವೈಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಏನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸಚ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡೇಟಾ, arrangement of data according to geographical region or place is called as geographical the classification. So for example, the production of paddy in different states in Iraq, and production of wheat in different countries, etc. So ನಾವು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ರೀಜನ್ ವೈಸ್ ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು collected data which is to be arranged according to region or place is known as the geographical classification. Now qualitative classification, another the type of classification, and in this type of classification, data are classified on the basis of same attributes or the quality, like sex, literacy, religion, employment, etc. And such attributes cannot be measured. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಸ್ ಆಗಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನಾವು quantitative classification means another the type of classification, and it refers to the classification of data according to some characteristics that can be measured, such as height, weight, etc. For example, group of children may be classified according to weight as given below. So ಒಂದು according to some characteristics. So the means quantitative classification that refers classification of data according to some characteristics that can be measured, such as height, weight. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವೇನು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾವು ಕೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಡ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ವೆಯ್ಟ್. ಅವರ ಒಂದು ವೆಯ್ಟನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ನನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, weight in kgs and number of children. So 50 children comes under the group of weight 5 to 10 kgs, and 200 children which comes under 10 to 15 kgs of weight, and 260 children which comes under the group of 15 to 20 kgs. So this is what based on the group of children weight and the group of children may be classified according to their weight. So such type of classification is called as quantitative. ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now formation of frequency distribution. So let us know the meaning of frequency distribution. So in statistics, frequency refers to number of times a value occurs. ಅಕ್ಕರ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅದು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ದಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಸ್ frequency distribution refers to a table that shows an item and its frequency. So frequency distribution a table refers to a table that shows an item and its frequency. An item that A table that shows an item and its frequency. ಐಟಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಎ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟೆಡ್ a blood donation camp, and here blood groups of 30 students were recorded as blood group 30 students blood group ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಶೋನ್ ಇಯರ್ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಇನ್ ಎ ಟ್ಯಾಬುಲಾರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎ, ಬಿ, AB, O. So number of students 9. So 9 students are having blood group of A, and 6 students have blood group B, and 3 students have blood group AB, and 12 students had blood group 0. So total number of students 30 participated in the blood donation camp, or 30. So this table is known as frequency distribution table. So therefore frequency distribution refers to a table that shows an item and its frequency. Now, types of frequency distribution. There are three types of frequency distribution tables. One is discrete frequency distribution. Discrete frequency distribution. So in a discrete frequency distribution, values of the variable is arranged individually. Values of the variable is arranged individually. So the frequencies of the various values, or the number of times each value occurs. So in a discrete series, both the values of the variable is arranged. Values of the variable as well as the frequencies are given. ಒಂದು ಏನು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಐ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕೋಟೆಡ್ ದಟ್ 12 students had a blood group of 0, and 9 students had blood group of A. So this is what blood group, the values and the respective number of students ಅನ್ನ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಅದನ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ discrete series, discrete frequency distribution as both the value of the variable as well as the respective the frequencies ಎರಡೂ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, weekly wages in rupees paid to the workers are given below. So form a discrete frequency distribution. So here weekly wages in rupees are given. So here weekly wages in rupees 120, 150, 240, 300. So minimum weekly wages paid to workers 120, and maximum weekly wages payable to or paid to workers is rupees 300. So 120. So here tally marks means 120, the value which is repeated in 8 times, 5 plus 3, 8. So 150 which repeats in 12 times, and 240 the value which repeats in 5 plus 3 8 times. That means what, 8 workers got the weekly wages of rupees 240, and 300 the weekly wages paid to two workers. Means two workers got the same weekly wages of rupees 300. This is what weekly wages in rupees called as the variable, the value, and number of workers termed as frequency. Number of workers ಅನ್ನ frequency ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ವೇಜಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ವೇಜಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಎಫ್. ಈ ಈ ಈ ಎರಡು ಕಾಲಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೇಜಸ್, ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ವೇಜಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ಇವೆರಡನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Weekly wages in rupees and number of workers. So under discrete series, both weekly wages means value as well as number of workers means f frequencies are given. Now continuous frequency distribution. So under continuous frequency distribution, the both the class interval as well as the frequencies are given. So continuous frequency distribution is also known as grouped frequency distribution. This is a form in which class intervals and respective class frequencies are given. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So we can find frequency distribution by the following steps. First step, first we have to calculate range of the data set. Data set range calculate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. In next step, divide the range by the number of group we want our data in, and then round up, and after that use class width to create groups, and finally find the frequency for each group. So these are the various steps which are involved in finding frequency distribution. So with the quoted example we can understand clearly regarding daily maximum temperatures in a city for 50 days. Daily maximum temperatures in a city for 50 days are given. So in this quoted example we can find minimum value. Minimum value is 17, maximum value is 35. So the range, it is the difference of minimum value and maximum value. 35 or maximum value minus minimum value, 35 minus 17 is equal to 18. So number of classes we can take 5. We can take any number of classes. So here we have taken 5 classes, and width of each class 4. Width of each class 4. Width or difference of each class 4. Now table which shows frequency distribution of temperature in a city for 50 days. So class interval 17 means minimum value 17, and width of each class or difference of each class, so 4. So minimum value 17 ಇದೆ. 17 ಗೆ we have to add 4. 17, 18, 19, 20. So therefore 17 to 20, and after that 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So therefore difference of each class is 4. Minimum value 17, maximum value 35. So therefore 33, 34, 35, 36. So here minimum level or minimum value 17 and maximum value 35. So therefore when we take width or difference of each class 4, we have to add 4. So therefore it comes 36, 33, 34, 35, 36. Therefore 17 to 36. So and then we can calculate or we can take into account frequency 17 to uh, 20, 17 to 20. So here the temperature in a city, daily maximum temperature in a city, so 17 temperature, seven temperatures in class intervals, so temperatures in city 17 to 20. Frequency or days, so in 17 days the temperatures in that city in between 17 to 20. And in 7 days temperatures in that city which ranges from 21 to 24. So like that the formation of a class interval as well as the frequency, the formation of frequency. So this is the way in which we can formulate or we can form both the class interval and frequency from the given the data. Now terms used in continuous frequency distribution, class interval. So the whole range of variable values is classified in some groups in the form of intervals. Each interval is called as class interval. Now ಇಲ್ಲಿ class interval ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. The term which is used in continuous frequency distribution, class interval means 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. This is what class interval, minimum level and maximum level. So each interval is called as class interval. So and class frequency, so class frequency, another term which is used in continuous frequency distribution. So number of observations in a class is termed as frequency of the class or class frequency. Number of observations or number of items ಅಥವಾ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಯರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಗಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬೌಂಡರೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ two end points of a class interval which are used for the construction of a frequency distribution. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು lower limit of the class and upper limit of the class. So here from this quoted example we can say that minimum minimum class interval, so lower limit of the class 17, upper limit of the class 20, and minimum in that first class. And in second class we say that minimum class interval 21 and maximum class interval 24. And in next class interval minimum class interval, minimum level is minimum class interval is 25 and maximum class interval is 28. So like that we can say that minimum class interval and maximum class interval, class limits are the two end points, of a class interval which are used for the construction of a frequency distribution. And lowest value of the variable that can be included in a class interval is called lower limit of the class, and highest value of the variable that can be included in a class interval is called the upper class limit of that class interval, or what I already told, that lower limit of the class and upper limit of the class. So these are not the real limits or end points of a class interval, and class limits are called apparent limits of a class. Now, class boundaries. So class boundaries, the two real endpoints of a class interval are called class boundaries. So these are also called also called as the real class limits. So the basic rule is that class limits should have the same decimal place as the data set, but class boundaries should have one decimal place more. Example, in the previous data, class intervals are 17 to 21, 21 to 25, 25 to 29, and 29 to 33, and 33 to 36. So here we say that uh, the class boundary for the class 17 to 21, the lower class limit is 17 and upper class limit is 21. And if there was an observation of 17, that would not be included in this class, and an observation of a 21, that would be included in the class 21 to 24, and not in 17 to 21. So 17 to 21, 17 to 21, 21 to 25, 25 to 29, 21 to 20, 21 to 25, 25 to 29. So an observation of 21, that would be included in that class 21 to 24, and not in 17 to 21. So this type is called as exclusive type. So 17 to 20 here, if there was an observation of 17, that would not be included in this class. An observation of 21, that would be included in the class 21 to 24. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 17 to 21 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, 21 to 25. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ this type of class interval is called as exclusive ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 17 to 21. So 17 to 20, 17 to 20. So when 20 takes into account, so we have to add in that class only 17 to 20. And when 21 occurs, so then that 21 number should be included only in that class 21 to 24. ಸೊ 21 ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು 21 ಅನ್ನ 21 ಟು 24 ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 17 ಟು 25, 17 ಬಂದಾಗ 17ಅಲ್ಲೇ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, 17 ಟು 20 ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. 20 ನಂಬರ್ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ, ನಾವು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು 17 ಟು 20 ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 25 ನಂಬರ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಆ 25ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು 25 ಟು 28 ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್, ಅಥವಾ 24 ಬಂದಾಗ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ 24 occurs, then 24 number should be included in that class only 21 to 24. So that type of class interval is called as inclusive class interval. ಅದು ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ವೆರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ 17 to 21, 21 to 25, 25 to 29, 29 to 33. So this is what exclusive class interval, exclusive class interval. So 21 ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು the an observation of 21 that would be included in the class 21 to 24 and not in 17 to 21. ಅಲ್ಲಿ 17 to 21 ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು 17 ಇಂದ 20ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. 21 ಬಂದಾಗ 21 ಟು 25ಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 24 ಬಂದಾಗ 21 ಟು 25 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು 25 ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ 25 ಟು 29 ವರೆಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ 28 ಬಂದಾಗ an observation of 28, then that would be included in the class 25 to 29. So if an observation of 29 occurs, so then that would be included only in 29 to 33 class, because this is called as exclusive type of class interval. So inclusive type, the inclusive type of data, that is if a value is equal to 17 or 20, then it will be included in the first class itself, 17 to 20 and 21 to 24. 17 ಇಂದ 20ಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. 21 ಇಂದ 24 ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 25 ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 25 ಇಂದ 28ವರೆಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ವಿ. 29 ಇಂದ 29 ಬಂದರೆ 29 ಟು 32 ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 33 ಬಂದರೆ 33 ಟು 36 ವರೆಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. Size of the class means length of the class is called as class width. It is also known as class size, and class interval or size of the class is equal to upper class boundary and lower class boundary. Class interval or size of the class, it is the difference of UCB and LCB. Upper class boundary minus lower class boundary, it is the difference. That difference is called as class interval or size of the class. So size of the class is UCB, upper class boundary 20 minus lower class boundary 17. 20 minus 17 is equal to 3. 3 is called as class interval or size of the class. Now midpoint of the class. Midpoint of the class, another the term which is used in the calculation of the value continuous class interval. Midpoint of a class interval is called midpoint of the class. It is the representative, the value of the entire class. Midpoint of the class is equal to UCB plus LCB divided by 2. Upper class boundary plus lower class boundary means lower limit of the class 20 plus 17, lower limit of the class 17 plus upper limit of the class 20. 17 plus 20 divided by 2. Lower limit of the class or UCB, upper class boundary 20 plus LCB, lower class boundary 17 divided by 2. 20 plus 17 divided by 2, that gives us midpoint of the class or mid value. Now cumulative frequency distribution. There are two kinds of cumulative frequency distribution. One is less than cumulative frequency distribution and another one is more than cumulative frequency distribution. Let us know the meaning of less than cumulative frequency distribution. Frequency distribution, both discrete and continuous, are to be taken in ascending order, the total of the frequencies from the beginning up to and including each frequency is found. That cumulative frequency shows how many items are less than or equal to the corresponding value of the class interval. Less than, cumulative frequency distribution. Less than means less than 10, less than 20, less than 20, 30, less than 40, less than 50. This is what less than. Class interval less than ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. Less than frequency distribution. ಆಗ ನಾವು we have to form class interval as well as frequency. ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 10 ಅಂದರೆ 0 to 10. ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 20 ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 10 to 20. ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ less than 30 means 20 to 30. More than cumulative frequency distribution both discrete and continuous are to be taken in ascending order. The total of the frequencies from the end up to and including each frequency is found. So that cumulative frequency shows how many items are more than or equal to the corresponding value of the class interval. So that less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency distribution can be uh, understood here. Uh, Quoted the example. So weekly wages in rupees 120, 150, 240, 300. So number of workers 8, 12, 8, 2. So weekly wages in rupees 120, 150, 240, 300. We take as it is. And when we take less than cumulative frequencies ಬಂದಾಗ 8 ಹಾಗೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. 8 plus 12 20, 20 plus 8 28, 28 plus 30. ಇದು ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟಿವ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಈಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. 8 20 minus 8 12, 28 minus 28 30 minus 28 2. So this is the way in which we are going to calculate or bring into less than frequency or ordinary frequency distribution. And weekly wages in rupees 120, 150, 240, 300. And here when we consider more than cumulative frequencies 30 means total 30 ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. 30 minus 8 22, 22 minus 12 10, 10 minus 8 2. Now in another example, so this is what discrete series, discrete frequency distribution. And in another example, uh, and under continuous series, we can understand clearly less than and more than frequency distribution. So marks 0 to 10, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. This is what class interval. And number of students 2, 7, 15, 9, 7, and total of the frequency 40. Marks below upper limit 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Upper marks below or less than cumulative less than cumulative frequency. So number of students less than cumulative frequency 2, 2 plus 7 9, 9 plus 15 24, 24 plus 9 33, uh, 33 plus 7 40. Marks above lower limit, marks above lower limit 0, 20, 40, 60, 80 above lower limit. So number of students here, number of students more than cumulative frequency. more than upper limit, less than lower limit, more than cumulative frequency, more than cumulative frequency, more than ಅಂದರೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ 40 ಇದೆ, 40 ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ 40, total frequency 40 minus 2 38, 38 minus 7 31, 31 minus 15 16, 16 minus 9 7. So this is the way in which we can understand clearly how to form less than frequency and more than less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency, formation of class interval as well as frequency distribution. Thank you.